Now, again, we're going to graph the quadratic x squared minus 5. All right, but the first thing I want to do is I want to create a few little notes for you. So the first thing is we're going to talk about what a vertex is. We're going to talk about what an axis symmetry is. And we're going to talk what a y-intercept is. I have a feeling you know what the y-intercept is. All right? The axis symmetry, you do not. All right? So I'm going to draw what every parabola looks like up here on the board right now. So look up. This is what a parabola looks like. Bless you. That's what a parabola looks like. Now it can open up or it can open down. All right, so we'll have two choices. But again, that's just what it's going to look like. No longer are we dealing with just what? Lines. All right, we're going to be dealing with what's referred to as a parabola or a quadratic or a curve. All right. Now, what I want to do now is at the top of your paper, I want you to write y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's what we say is the general form for a quadratic. That's the general form for a quadratic. And what is a? A is the number in front of the what? Square term. What's b? B is the number in front of the x. And what's c? C is the constant. All right? It's just the number. All right, so one more time. What is A? A is the number in front of the square term. B is the number in front of the x. And C is the constant. That's how simple it is. All right, now I'm going to say axis symmetry, and you're going to go, I don't even know what that means. You're right, you don't know what it is yet until I draw the first graph and I show you what that means. All right, so step number 1. All right, now axis of symmetry, A, O, S, colon. That's what that means, axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is just an equation. All right, it's just an equation. That equation is x equals negative b over 2a. No way you can know that. I have to what? I have to tell you that. All right, there's no way for you to know that. X equals negative b over 2a. That's exactly how I want it. All right, now, in this problem up here, here's where we have a problem. I want you to above this put y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now I want someone to tell me what they think a is equal to. What's a? 1. All right. Now the hard one. What is b? Yes, it is. B is 0. And what's c? Negative 5. Thank you very much. Good. Well, that's what I'm saying, guys. You can change your whole math career. For those of you guys who think you're, it's not difficult. You've got to join me, though, right now. If you don't know why A is 1, B is 0, C is negative 5, you have to ask. Alex, are you with me on that? So far, so good. All right? So now we're going to find the axis of symmetry. So here we go. X equals negative. What's B? 0 over 2 times, what's A? 1. 0 over 2 is what? 0. 0 over 2 is 0. Do they have any questions? So the axis of symmetry is always a line. The axis of symmetry is always a line. So in this case, it's just x equals what? X equals 0. Now, a long time ago, first semester, I taught you how to graph x equals 0 or x equals 1 or x equals 2. Anytime you have just x equal, it's called a vertical line. It's a vertical line. So when we're graphing now, we're going to graph x equals 0. So to graph x equals 0, what I want to do is I want you to do a highlight, all right? And in this case, I want the highlight to stand out. So let's see if it's good color. So here we go. Let me make it a little bit thicker. So everybody sees that's x equals 0. Is everybody with me on this? So there's x equals 0. That line itself is called the axis of symmetry. And what does that mean? That means everything on the right is exactly the same as everything on the what? Left. That's what's referred to as symmetry. If you fold the graph on that line, we'll get the mirror image. All right? Now, next step. I need step number 2, vertex. Now, vertex, I want you to put down as either the maximum or the what? The minimum. So look back up here as a reference. This right here is the vertex, and this right here is the vertex. Everybody see that? So it's the absolute lowest point, or it's the absolute what? Highest point. Everybody good? All right? So here we go. To find the vertex, underneath that, here's what I want you to write. Parentheses, negative b over 2a, comma, f of negative b over 2a. Now that's kind of fancy, so most kids don't know what that means. All right? So this is the x value that you just found. So what would go there? What is negative b over 2a again? 0. So now we come down here and put a 0, comma. Bear with me? 0, comma. Now how do you think I find the y value? Nope. How do you think I find the y value? Plug it in. That's exactly right. So this right here, now look, you need to make yourself a note. This just means plug the 0 into the function. You hear me? So if I plug 0 in, remember the equation is what? The equation is y equals x squared minus 5, y equals 0 squared minus 5, y equals 0 minus 5 equals negative 5. Did I agree with that? So the vertex is going to be 0, comma what? Negative 5. Girls, everybody still with me? Now, for whatever reason, this is a hard thing, so I need you to ask me if you're not sure how I got negative 5. All I did was I plugged the axis of symmetry value into the function. Into x, in for x. Go. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying I plugged 0 into the function. This is functional notation right here. So that means take this x value and plug it into the equation. You hear me? All right, and we're going to do it, a bunch, so you'll get it. All right, so now we need to graph the vertex. So the vertex is 0, negative 5. So I want everybody now to go down, and we're going to graph 0, negative 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Everybody good with that so far? Now, the next step, 3. Step 3. I need to find the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is always 0, comma, c. The y-intercept is always 0, comma, c. Everybody agree? In other words, you just plug 0 in for x. And if I plug 0 in for x, that's automatically going to give me what? C. So what's the c value here? Negative 5, right? So the y-intercept is 0, comma, negative 5. Is 0, comma, negative 5. Yeah, so now I have a problem. So I want everybody to put this down. I have a problem. Now the reason why I have a problem is because the vertex is the same as the y-intercept. Did everybody hear me? So I can't really graph the function because I only have plotted one point. Everybody with me? Everybody good? All right. So to fix the problem, we have to plug in numbers. Now, what's the easiest number to plug in since we've already plugged in 0? 1. 1 would be best, right? So I want everybody to plug in 1. Now, when you plug in 1, we're going to make it an ordered pair. 1, comma. When I plug in 1, somebody tell me what the answer is. Come on. What's the answer when I plug in 1? Plug 1 in for x. Plug 1 in for x. Somebody's got to tell me what that is. Yes, 1 minus 5. What is 1 minus 5? Yes, exactly. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. All right? Now, again, what I'm trying to tell you is we had a problem here because the vertex and the y-intercept are the same. That's rare. All right? It's not going to happen very often. All right? It's not going to happen very often. So in this case, if you plugged in 1, Jack, what did we get for the y value? We got negative 4. All right? So now what I want to do is I want to plot the point 1, negative 4. All right, so when I plot 1, negative 4, here's where I'm at right here. Does everybody agree with that point? Now, you can use the axis of symmetry. Now, here's where you got to pay attention because this is very easy, but for whatever reason, people miss it. If 1, negative 4 is on the graph, what other point is on the graph? Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. Because the axis symmetry means that it's symmetrical. Everybody agree with that? It's symmetrical. Everybody with me? So now I know what the graph looks like. The graph will look something like this. It's not a line anymore. It's a what? It's a curve. All right? It's a parabola. Everybody okay with that? All right? So again, listen to me. Let me summarize. First step, you need to find the axis symmetry. Second step, you plug in the axis symmetry value in for x, and that gives you the what? The vertex. All right? Then you have to find the y-intercept. All right? And then you always need a third point. You always need a third point. Now, go ahead. Do you have a question? Okay, so because look, here, I should have drawn it. From here to here is how many units? So I have to go 1 over this way. That's where max symmetry is. You with me on this? Just like here, if I took this point right here, that's about 1.5 over. So if I go 1.5, look, same. Doesn't matter what point. Because I plugged 1 in into the equation. What's 1 squared? Minus 5. That's why. You good now? All right. All right, now, what I want to do is I want to look at number 3 for a second, and then we'll go back and do number 2. I want to look at number 3. Okay, so here we go, guys. Come on now. Step 1. I want you to write down AOS colon. Then you have to write the formula. What's the formula? No. X equals negative B over 2A. Now above it, I want you to put A equals what? Come on, girls. Everybody. Negative 2. B equals what? And C equals what? Beautiful. Everybody agree with that? Julie, you with me or not? All right. So now, next to that, put equals. So what would negative B be? Negative 4 over 2 times what? negative 2. Negative 4 over negative 4 equals what? 1. Everybody happy with that? Everybody happy with 1 so far? So now we're graphing the line x equals 1. We're graphing the line x equals 1. So here we go. X equals 1 right here. Everybody okay with that? Everybody make sure you're drawing that. Anybody have any issues so far? Anybody have any issues? Okay, so now step 2. I want you to put vertex, colon, open parentheses. What's the x value of vertex? Nope. What is it? What's the x value of the vertex? Colin, are you awake yet?
1.
1. Whoever said that. Thank you. 1. Why is it 1? Make a note to yourself if you forgot. It's always the x value of the axis of symmetry. Now, how do I figure out what the y value is? What do? Plug it into the equation. So y equals negative 2 times 1 squared plus 4 times 1 plus 3. So somebody tell me what that is. Come on. What is that?
Oh,
5. Thank you. So the y value is 5. So now you have your vertex, 1, 5. So now we're going to graph 1, 5. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got that as the vertex. Everybody agree? Do you have any issue with that? All right, step number 3. I need to find the y-intercept. I said the y-intercept. Again, write y-intercept colon 0, comma c. What is the c value? 3. So the y-intercept is 0, comma 3. So now everybody's got to graph the point 0, 3. Now this time we don't have a problem. We don't have to plug in a point. Somebody tell me what other point now is on the graph. Max. 2, comma 3. Beautiful. Because we're measuring to the axis of symmetry. That is 1, correct? So I'm counting over 1. That's the other point right there. Does everybody agree? And now what am I doing? Making the parabola. That's what it looks like. Come on, you wait for that? Come on now. Come on, keep it up. All right, those are the steps.
Is the reason the parabola goes down because the leading negative is
That is exactly correct. For those of you guys who want more information, if the leading coefficient is negative, it will open down. If the leading coefficient is positive, it will open up. Right. Now, I don't really tell that to kids because I think it's obvious after you graph it a little bit. But someone also, is this a maximum? Is the vertex a maximum or a minimum? It's definitely a maximum. Because we say it's a maximum because it's the what? The highest point on the graph. Right? If we look at this one down here, this is called a what? Minimum because it's the what? The lowest point on the graph. It's the lowest point on the graph. Everybody with me? All right, what time we get out today? All right, 51. So we got time for one more. All right. Now, again, I probably think I should show you number 2 again. All right, because the axis of symmetry is on the vertex, and I want to make sure I'm clear. the y-intercept is the vertex. All right, so here we go. Let me show you again. All right, step by step, please. All right, you should be a little bit better. So step number 1, AOS, axis of symmetry. X equals negative b over 2a. Just write that down. Equals. What's b in this case? 0. Right? 0 over anything is what? That's correct. But, so does everybody agree it's just 0? Right? So now, let's draw out the axis symmetry. X equals 0. X equals 0. That's the axis symmetry. Anybody have an issue with that? All right, step number 2. We want to write down vertex. 0, comma. What's the vertex? 0, comma 8. Now, if you don't know that, now's the time to speak up. I plugged 0 in for x. That's all I did. Everybody see how it's 8? Girls, you okay with that being 8? You okay with it being 8?
Okay, it's C.
No, because you plugged 0 in for x.
Oh, and then it is.
0 squared is 0 times negative. Are you listening?
Yes.
0 squared is 0 times negative 2 is 0. 0 plus 8.
Oh.
You with me? I'm plugging 0 in for x. So my vertex is 0, 8. So now let's go ahead and graph 0, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we go. Did everybody see how 0, 8 is there? Yeah. That's not very good color. All right, there we go. There's good contrast. All right, there's the vertex. Okay, so now step 3. I need to find the y-intercept, which is always 0c, which in this case is what? Now, I want you to be able to tell me, why is this a problem? Yeah, we already have the point 0.08, so it's of no value. So now I want to plug in, what's the easiest number to plug in? 1. So now we're going to plug in a point. And when I plug in 1, somebody tell me what I get. Come on, someone besides Jack. Come on, everybody plug in a 1 and tell me.
Negative 2 plus 8.
Yeah, which is?
Just 6.
Just 6. Perfect. Good job. 1, 6. Everybody happy? Now, everybody go plot 1, 6. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the other point. All right, now in order to graph, I need 3 points. So tell me.
So we're just going to move to the left.
Exactly right. There you go. Perfect. Does everybody see that? Alex, do you see how I use that axis symmetry? Now, obviously it's going what? Now you can see why it's easy to say it's going down, right? And then we know that the vertex here is considered a what? The vertex is considered a max. Girls, everybody okay with this? All right. Now, okay, so for homework, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do question 4 and question, 4 and 5. Everybody try 4 and 5. Everybody good? All right, look at your notes, please. All right, now, in this case, the vertex is not the same as the y-intercept, so you don't have to plug a number in. All right? And listen, if you're messing it up, you don't know, come in the morning, come see me, and I'll straighten you out real quick. All right? Anybody have any questions? All right? If it wasn't completely clear, go back and listen again. All right? Should be simple, simple, simple.